Hi flosstube, welcome back. My name is Stitch Too Far, and today I will give you a little update on what I've been doing last week and show you some of the needle minders I've made. And there have been some requests, so I'm going to add in some little clips as well. Let me start by saying thank you for joining me today. It is Sunday, October the 2nd, and in Holland that means that it's definitely turning into autumn, because we've been having typical autumn weather with showers as well as sunny spots, and it's really turned cold compared to a week ago. I think the temperature dropped by at least 10 degrees Celsius. So I'm wearing my sweater, the first one for the autumn. I didn't even get coffee. I might have to pause and get some, but thank you all for letting me know how you felt about long or short videos and updates. I have decided to try out a fortnightly update, and this will be the first one of those, so the next video will probably be coming out in 2 weeks from now, because I think that is a good enough time period for me to work on some WIPs to have actually something to show, to fill a video of approximately 30 minutes. And if not, then I can always add a little tag or something. So thank you very much everyone who commented and liked my videos so far, and even subscribed. I can't believe how many subscribers I have. It's over 300 already. I'm totally amazed by that. Thank you very much. So this will be about a 30-minute long video, so grab yourself your favorite beverage, get your stitching out, and let's talk. And we'll start off with what I've been stitching on. And last video I showed you an update on Takapuna Beach, and I'll insert a picture of what that's supposed to look like in the end. So my hair. And last Sunday I was looking at it, and I wasn't pleased with it for several reasons. First of all, because there was these stupid spots on it all of a sudden, but I'm sure that could have been fixed with a little washing. But also the stitching 2/2 full crosses on 25 count over 1 was getting really bulky, and I wasn't really enjoying it, and I found it hard to find a way to stitch on it in the confetti areas, as I think I've mentioned before, I'm not sure. So I took a radical decision, and I will show you what I did in a little video clip that I made when I actually did it, which I will insert now. Hi guys, it's Monday the 26th of September, and yesterday on Sunday I was staring at this piece, Takapuna Beach, trying to figure out how I could make this mess into something of a diagonal stitch. And that was hard to figure out. And then I also thought about how I was enjoying stitching 2/1, and I can say I'm not enjoying it very much, especially with the cross instead of the continental 10 stitch. I just think it's getting too bulky. So I decided I was gonna do something about it, and I was gonna start anew. So this is now officially gone, and as you can see, I printed out the figure that Blitz Stitch made to work out how I was going to start, and I did determine that I was going to start in the top right corner of my pattern, and this is the way I stitch. I stitch with this one on the bottom and this one on the top of my cross. So according to his diagram, if I start on this side and I'm going to work in columns, I should work my colors from bottom to top, and I should start my crosses in the lower left corner, so from here to here, and then either from there to there or there to there. So I had a really hard time figuring out how that worked, and I can show you what I did. This is the mess I made trying to work out how to do that. All those dots were just me trying to go, okay, so this, or this, and then, because I had no problem if you have the blocks, so 10 by 10 blocks, and you make diagonals. I had no problem making this first one. It also was one with one color thread, so it was easy to fill that. But then I thought, okay, so where do I go from here? Do I go do this one, or do I start this one? And after pointing at my paper for a while, I discovered I need to move on from this point. So if I look at the pattern, I look at the first color in this block and then see if there are any more of the same colors down. And however far down they go, that's where I start. And then I work my way up and down. So I stitch like this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and back 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. That's this bit. And then I look at the next color and see if there's any more of the same symbol below that. If there's not, then I just do one stitch. If there's more, I go down to the last one and go up again, like I showed you before, until I reach the bottom of this, what is it, a parallelogram? I don't know how to say it. And then I start the next column and do the same thing all over again and work my way down, like I'm showing here. Down, next column, down, next column, down, next column, down. So I work top to bottom and I go from right to left. If that's how I'm supposed to do it, Brian, I don't know if you watch my videos, but please let me know if that's the right way. And I'll show you how that looks. So, if I take my needle. So this was the first diagonal I did. And then you might be able to see I had some messy bits where I went this way, and then I went this way, and then I finally found out I had to go this way. So, for instance, here there's 3 of the same color. So I started here on the left and worked my way up to the top. Next stitch, left, top, left, and then top. Then went back again, down, down, down. And then I parked it for the next occurrence over here. Over here. Then I went to the next color, and there's actually 2 of the same, so I did 1, 2, 1, 2, and then parked it because it wasn't occurring here. I parked it somewhere probably over here, and then I went to this one, and I did the same thing and parked it, trying to see the colors, over here, and then I was back to the parked thread of this green one, and I worked it up and down. And then I could park it again. And because it also occurs here, I actually parked it over here, because then I could start the column. And then I had this one, worked it from here to there and back, and parked it here. And I went to the next column, etc., etc. So I think I figured it out. And now that I have, I'm actually enjoying it. I haven't looked at the back yet. Maybe I'll show you. Hang on, if I can turn it around. Okay, it's upside down, but who cares? So this is the back. And you can see where I was going the wrong way. First I did go a bit wrong here. But I think I've managed to get it all sorted out again, and I'm moving in the same direction now. This is a parked thread. So yeah, I like it. It's not very bulky. It's 2/2 by the way now. Oh. Sorry about that. So this is 2/2 on 32 count. And it does show a bit through, but I don't mind that. It's not covering fully. I don't mind that. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. Catch you later. So, as you can see, I decided to do a restart on the project and switch to a 32 count, 2/2 cross stitch, and I'm using the diagonal stitching technique that Brian Litton, otherwise known as Blitz Stitch, mentioned on his channel. He gave a good tutorial about that, which I linked in my previous video. I'll try and remember to link it again. And here's what I managed to do the rest of the week. So, quite some progress, as you can see. And this is, I didn't really count it, but I think it's about 800 stitches. And I really enjoyed it. It was really easy once I figured out how to actually do it. And as you can see, there is a lot of bark threads all along the diagonal, and I'm trying to figure out how to bark best, and I'm trying always to find the spot that is closest to it. So for instance, these reds, there's reds in this part but also over here. So when I'm working here, I park my threads over here, and when I work here, then I get a new thread and park it somewhere here, because I know I will continue in this way. And I thought this was just too much of a jump to park. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's coming along nicely. And how I decided which corner of the pattern to start working from was just looking at the pattern and looking at the diagonals and seeing which one would give me the most variety. And that's why I decided to work from the upper right corner down. So yeah, soon I'm going to be hitting a diagonal that crosses over into another page, so that will be a new adventure, I guess, new learning curve, and I'll let you know how I get on with that. But I'm really happy with this diagonal stitching technique. I think the stitches look really nice, and once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. The only thing I find annoying, but that's with all kinds of parking, is because I stitch in columns of 1, I have some columns that have like, there's 10 symbols and they're all different. So I need 10 threads for that, and every stitch I then have to park and mark it off. And that takes a bit of time, but that's also why I'm using a lot of needles on this, because I tried it without, and it was driving me nuts that after each stitch I had to rethread the needle. So I decided I would try out with just keeping the needle on the thread, and that's actually why I have so many needle minders on this one. And for me that's working out really nicely. So that's all I can say about this one. I also did some more work on the ink circles piece, Cirques de carreaux. I'll insert a picture over here. And this is where I got to. I did manage to do quite a bit. I think this is about half the page done, and moving into some other pages as well, because I like to, for instance, these bigger blocks, I try to do the outline all in one thread, so the variegation is more consistent. But yeah, I think I did a bit of, oh sorry, I'm giving you the finger. I did a bit over here, and I did this, and I did this pattern. And that's about how much I did, I think, on this one. Still really loving this, and especially now that it's growing, I really like the colors, and I like working with this thread. And this is just a nice, reasonably brainless stitch for me. So nice and relaxing. Then I worked some more on Patient Stitcher, and I'll insert a picture of the finished project somewhere here. And I also got a long way on this one. This is going into a next page already, but I think the page is about this big, and there's 4 pages to it. And I'm really enjoying this one as well. I love working with the different threads, and I just love the silks. They are really amazing to work with. They just glide through the fabric. It's just such a pleasure. And I think I mentioned on Instagram that this might be for me another case of the red shoes of stitching. It's just a piece that I find it really hard to put down and start on working on something else. I just love it. And then there's one more project I worked on, and that is of course Death by Cross Stitch. And I'll put in a picture first, but most of you know what it looks like. Last time I showed it to you, I wasn't sure about the 2 lines of the border that I had stitched, well, test stitched with the variegated thread. And I was sure that I would replace the thicker border on the outside, and I did that, and I left in the other one for now, but I will also change that one out for a solid color, because I think it is distracting from the piece, and I think I will just keep these borders and other borders in a pattern with the variegated and do everything else in the DMC. But yeah, as you can see, I got a lot more stitching in on this. This also is just such an easy piece to work on, especially these vignettes in the solid color, because I can just stitch on happily and do a lot of stitching on this. And the border is a bit more intricate and takes 1 stitch at a time, 1 cross at a time, because of the variegation. But yeah, I'm really pleased that I switched out the border, and I still have to frog this and replace it, but I think it looks a lot more, what's the word for it? It's not so busy. So I really thought the border was too busy, and I even think this line is too busy, and some people suggested that I could try and stitch this variegated border, the thin line, not by doing full crosses, but just going one direction first and then coming back. But I think because of this thread that I use, which has quite a strong color change, it still wouldn't look right for me. So I think I will just switch it out for the DMC 902 and just keep the border more, well, less busy. But yeah, this part is done. I still need to do a little bit down here to finish this triangle off in the solid color. So next I'll be working on all my variegated borders and stitch a little bit more of this outer borders. So that's my stitching done. Some of you asked to see, oh sorry, a bit closer to the camera. Some of you asked to see more details of my Save the Stitches, and I recorded a little bit of video for that yesterday, and I don't know what I did, but somehow I flipped the camera, so I'm not sure if the quality is really good enough. If I think it's good enough, then I will add it at the end of this video. If I don't like it, then it will be for next video. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning. I've been up since 6:30 because someone rang my doorbell. And before I get on to my housework, I thought I would show you all my blocks on Save the Stitches and explain what I did before I move the fabric on my scroll bar. So this is how far I've gotten. These are blocks 1 through 7. Now, in general, what I changed, sorry if I'm moving the camera a bit, what I changed is the color scheme. I'm using DMC black for the black, but I changed the metallics to one color scheme, which is red. And I forgot to number, but I will insert it somewhere here. I'm using DMC metallic because at the time I wasn't aware of things like Petite Treasure braid or Krennic, but actually it's not a big problem to work with. I use all the tips that people on flosstube have given me about using short length and knotting the thread to my needle, as well as I'm using what's that thing called, thread heaven on it, and so far it's not been a problem. So the main thing I change is the color, but also all these little vignettes I decided to do just in one color, which was the metallic, and the big ones I kept with the black combined with the metallic. So let's try and zoom in a bit. This is the first block, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think is top one or the bottom one. Patterns, and I'm gonna switch to my notes. And I actually made no changes in this block. Only thing I still have to do is put some beads in this one, but I'm going to do all the beading at the end. Sorry about that, I got cut off. So the second block is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one of those. And I did make some changes in here. Let me try and see. Oh yeah, that's just a small change, but actually this column doesn't have metallic in it on the pattern, but it just looked weird to me, so I added the metallic just like I did on the other things. And then there's nothing else I changed as far as I can remember. I'm still looking at this because this kind of looks odd to me. I think it should have, like this one, a more of a star pattern, so I might just add those in later, but I'm not sure yet. And then we have the third block. Sorry about all the shaking. And let's see if I change anything in there. Oh yeah, I did some big changes in there. I also still have to do the beading on this one. What I did is that sometimes they show like this middle piece should be all stitched up, but with metallic that's really ugly in my opinion. So I'm going to put beads in those spots where they say you should stitch the whole block. So there will be beads in the center here and also in these squares here. And the main thing I changed here is this thing. The way it was stitched, it didn't look, the way it was charted, it didn't look really nice for me, and I was looking at how I could change it so that it was kind of slowly progressing from fully stitched up with metallics to just a little metallic, and this is what I came up with, just to have a little bit of variation in the brightness of the color, I guess. But that's the only thing I changed in that block. Okay, so the fourth block is this large horizontal with only the vignettes, and I'm gonna have to find my notes again. Well, hang on. Everything is falling down. Oh yeah, that was just, again, all I have to do is the beading in here, and where there was a solid block like in the center of this one, I didn't stitch it. Might put some beads in there. And here I left out, there's another cross of silver supposed to go in here, but I left it out. I might have just missed it because sometimes it's hard to see the silver on the pattern, but yeah, I'm okay with how it looks. And that's the rest of the block. I didn't do anything different on that. Then block 5. Again, I didn't change anything in block 5. I still have to do beading in these parts, this block, and along this side, I think. But that's as it's charted. And block 6. Oh yeah, there I did do some changes, mainly only in this block. The way it was charted, it didn't have any metallics. It just had those black stars. Let me zoom in. So where I stitched the metallics, there should have been those black stars like in the second row, but it was a bit too black for me. So I just did this, and actually should have stitched this row as well with the stars or the crosses, but I guess I am a little bit OCD because that just didn't look nicely symmetrical to me, so I just changed it so that it would be symmetrical. But that's the only thing I changed in this block. And then the 7th block was, again, I didn't change anything in this one. It is a little bit lacking in metallics, but I figured I think there's going to be another horizontal bar coming in with all the vignettes. So again, there will be 2 metallic vignettes right here. So I figured it wouldn't be too terrible if there was not a lot of metallic in this block. So this is where I am. See if I can focus again. Yeah. And next time you see it, this band will have disappeared because I'm going to have to scroll up to make room to stitch again. Not sure when that will be though. Okay, that's it for now. But besides that, I also got some more magnets in, and I mentioned, I think in my previous video, that I bought some more buttons. So I made a few more needle minders, and they were a bit autumn inspired as well, but they were also just the buttons that I liked that they had in stock at the shop I was. So here's my first batch. Let's see how I can, okay. So these are all just buttons. I really like those. I have 2 of each, but some of them are already on projects. And these were actually, I can take them off. These were like embellishments that people use in crafting. So they're sort of a plywood kind of thing. But they looked really odd to me, and I thought it would be really nice to use as well. And then I have a few more. Well, these aren't actually old ones, but these are snake patterns, which I really thought were funny. And this is another one of those leaves. I actually have like a Japanese maple, I'm not sure if that's the right English term, in my garden, so they are close to the leaves that are actually falling from my tree soon. So that's my update for this week. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I needed to talk about, but I don't think so. Oh yeah, there were two people I wanted to mention, and now I'm going to be stuck because I didn't take any notes. Hang on 1 second, because I might have. And I'm back. I had to look it up real quick, but one of the people I follow on Instagram has started their own flosstube channel, and it is an incredibly difficult name to say, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but I'll put it in the screen here. She's a Canadian, but she's currently living in Chile, and I just loved seeing her finally do some flosstube videos, because I've been following her on Instagram for a while. She's lovely projects, so please go and check her out if you want to. And then another one which a lot of you may already know, but I didn't. Her name is Novice Stitcher on YouTube, and she commented on one of my videos, and I noticed she had a channel, so I checked her out. And I actually binge watched all her videos from start to finish. She started stitching last year, never stitched before, and she just jumped in with both feet and went for it, and she's doing amazing things. She's doing full coverage pieces and multiple WIPs at the same time at the moment, and I just think she deserves some love. So please go check out her channel, and I absolutely recommend watching her from the first video and then move on. Her videos aren't very long. The first 10 ones are maybe 5 minutes each, so it's really nice just to put them in your playlist one after the other and just indulge. So I have nothing more to add. I hope you're all enjoying the start of October. There will be a lot of flosstube videos coming out with monthly updates, so your playlist will be overflowing, I hope. And just take your time and work your way through all of them, like I am doing, and stitch along with all of us. And if you have any questions or have anything to say, please do so in the comments below. If you like my videos and want to keep up to date of the next post, then please subscribe. And if you liked it, please like. And if not, that's okay. I'm not for everybody. So that's it for me. I will probably see you in 2 weeks and have lots more stitching done by then. And well, happy stitching. Bye guys.